Motion, the order of the day is a motion on need to declare a state of emergency on the challenges of youth development in Nigeria, signed name of Hon Muda Lawal Umar and two others. Honorable members, Hon Umar is invited to move the motion.
On youth development in Nigeria. Before I proceed, Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate the Ninth Assembly under your leadership for the guidance and support that is being extended to the youth in this parliament. Do I proceed? Okay, Mr. Speaker, note that the population of Nigeria, as reported by the United Nations Population Fund, has risen to about 200 million in 2019, with 60% of the population being made up of youth between the ages of 15 to 35. Also note that for Nigeria to attain meaningful economic development and for the youth to be part of the global system, the federal government must address the socio-economic factors bedeviling the youth. Concerned that if the current socio-economic challenges of unemployment, poverty, drug abuse, insecurity, access to quality education and economic opportunities, corruption and greed in Nigeria are not addressed, it will undermine the stability and sustainable economic development of the country. Aware that the resultant effects of those challenges on youth are the increasing crime rates such as kidnapping, insurgency, banditry, armed robbery, cyber crimes, prostitution, and other vices. Worried that some of the youths are being manipulated by politicians to either serve as political thugs during elections or to engage in senseless anti-government protests as a result of their vulnerable conditions. Cognizant that the youth occupy a strategic position in any country's developmental process, as their productive capacity and income-generating activities contribute to the economic development of any nation, believes that declaring a state of emergency on the challenges facing the Nigerian youth have become imperative given the current circumstances. Resolved to urge the federal government to declare a state of emergency on the challenges facing Nigerian youth and devise measures to tackle them. And also mandate the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance.
Hon Muda, just very briefly, just tell us why you want the state of emergency declared in youth development. Just very, very, very quickly so we can put the question.
Any nation. Ironically, majority of the youths in Nigeria are mostly noted for their involvement in various types of crime because of their vulnerability. Today, youths are fully integrated and mobilized for economic development, and due to a lot of socio-economic factors militating against their development. From records, the youths constitute the largest population in Nigeria, that is over 60% of the entire population of Nigeria, and have the largest percentage of votes cast in any given election in Nigeria, yet youths are treated as second-class citizens in Nigeria. The increase in youth population, lack of quality education, access to healthcare, unemployment, corruption, greed, insecurity, etc., has gone a long way to depress Nigerian youth, and since the future looks bleak, considering these socio-economic factors bedeviling them, the seeming lackadaisical approach of the government to their plights, the youth have taken their future into their hands, hence the rising tides of crimes in the country. It is really sad that the majority of the criminals being paraded by the law enforcement agencies on a daily are youths who ordinarily should be our leaders of tomorrow. The youth bulge in Nigeria actually presents great opportunity for economic development. It could improve productivity and engender innovation. To achieve this, however, requires appropriate policies that address the current challenges facing the country's young population. Investment in education, health, job creation is therefore vital. Sectors such as ICT, sports, entertainment, hospitality, and agriculture pose the potential to provide significant economic development for young Nigerians, while infrastructural development, provision of credit facility, and removal of institutional and regulatory constraints, and a host of other factors that will enhance entrepreneurship are crucial. It is on this premise that we call on the federal government to declare a state of emergency on youth development in Nigeria and also urge the federal government to harness the potential that the skyrocketing number of youths in Nigeria portends. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Add value to what my colleague has said. Given the statistics available by the African Union, it is expected that in the next 30 years, Nigeria's population will have the youngest ever in the history of this country. It is expected that more than 80% of Nigeria's population will have young people less than 20 years. So it is only proactive for the Nigerian government to begin to institutionalize youth development and ensure that structures are actually there to curb the social menace we have found ourselves today. So, Mr. Speaker, there is no better position to put this than to actually support this motion to fly, because we need to take action today to save the situation for tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Once again, you say nay. I have it.